So you want to build an engaged community. You keep posting online and you feel like nobody's talking back to you. You feel like no one is engaging or responding to your content. I'm about to talk to you about why that's happening, and then I'm going to give you some tips to make it better. So, engagement is like currency when it comes to creating content online, when it comes to running a business. You have to know what people like, what they don't like. You got to have people talking to you. That's the only way that you're going to be able to build a successful community. And so, a lot of times people struggle with engagement because they don't know what kind of content to make, or they don't know how to structure their content so that they can build an engaged following. So, engagement is not as tricky as people try to make it seem. So, I'm going to break it down for you in some easy steps. So, first things first, what are the different types of engagement when it comes to social media? So, we have four different ways to measure it. Yeah, we're gonna go with four for now. There's more depending on the platform, but we're gonna think generally there's four different ways that people can do this. So the first thing is like, okay? So if someone likes your content, they like your video, they like your blog, they like your post that you put out on Instagram, that is an indication that someone saw the post. They saw it, maybe they liked it, something about it sparked their interest, or maybe they're just letting you know that, I see what you're doing and helping you to stay in the algorithm, right? So likes are kind of at the bottom when it comes to engagement because it lets you know that people are seeing your posts, but it doesn't actually tell you what they feel about it, what they think about it, why it's resonating with them, right? But likes are still good. So likes are the first way to measure your engagement. The second way to measure your engagement is by comments. Now, comments, y'all, chef's kiss, okay? When people are commenting on your posts, that means that whatever you posted is it elicited a response from them for some reason, whether it's a positive thing or a negative thing. Now, you see people do this motivationally by saying, to put in the comments, you can do it, or saying something like, what's an affirmation that you have for the day? Or you can ask people, what city are you from if you want to know where your followers are from. You can also have something that's more controversial. And so your comment section has people like, duking it out with one another, telling what they feel about the comments, or maybe even coming for you a little bit. You never know. It's social media. It happens. But that still lets you know that your content is like, okay, it's getting a reaction out of people. This is good. This is getting people talking. So I would put that at the second. I will put that, it's kind of even with this next one, but depending on what you're trying to do, comments can give you a little bit more information. So the next thing that you have are saves. Now, saves are the same on Instagram and on TikTok, right? Facebook, you do have the option to save posts, but I don't know if the metrics show you if people save your posts on Facebook. I have to go back and see that one. But you also have people who save your videos to playlists on YouTube. So saving means that this is valuable information and I want to make sure that I can come back to it. So you'll usually find that a lot of people will save posts that are informative. So if you're giving out tips or a strategy to do something, or if you're giving out recipes, a workout routine, things that people want to make sure that they go back to, that means that your content is so valuable to them that they want to make sure that they have the option to return to it at a later date. So if people are saving your content, you're really doing a good job. You're really sharing valuable, inspirational, funny content with people. And now, speaking of funny, that brings you to the next one, which is shares. Now, shares are like top tier when it comes to engagement. I absolutely love when I have high shares on a post because that means that whatever I put out, someone, not only do they think it's relatable, they think it's informative, maybe they think it's funny or controversial, but they also want other people to see it. And that is what helps to put you in front of new people, in front of new audiences, in front of fresh faces. And when you have content that does this, you are, I mean, you're in your bag when that happens. That means that you've really hit on something that people think, I got to make sure that I'm not the only person that knows this, right? So those are the four different types of engagement. And so when you are looking at your content and you're trying to figure out, okay, well, I feel like I get likes on my videos, but I'm not getting a lot of comments, right? Then that lets you know that you can shift your content or even the style of content that you make in order to get more comments on your posts or get more shares. So you can be strategic knowing what the rules of engagement are so that you can use it at its maximum potential, and you can get a little bit more information from your content and understand your people a little bit more. So those are the ways that you would measure engagement with people online and social media. Now, when it comes to building an engaged community, it's going to take a few things, and they're not as complicated as you might think. So sometimes people think that you have to have the best studio setup, you have to have the best equipment, you have to have the best audio. Shout out to my mic. But you don't have to have the best of any of that stuff. There's a few things that people need. First, they need to know who you are. So they need you to be consistent. They need you to show up. They need you to be visible, right? So that can look like you posting every week on Wednesday, or you having a certain phrase that you say that people know, oh, that's you. Or people know on Fridays that you're going to go live and you're going to be baking. So you have something that can help people feel comfortable, and it helps them to like build that relationship with you, knowing that you are going to show up and you're going to be present because you're building that trust with them. The next thing that you need is that you need to be vulnerable. You need to be authentic. Now, vulnerability, I always say that you should do this with not necessarily with I would say discretion, but use discernment when you are being vulnerable, when you're sharing. There are things that you have to wait and work through before you are able to share them publicly, and that's perfectly fine. But you want to make sure that you're being you. So people are drawn to authenticity. People are drawn to people being genuine. Hey, Cardi. People are drawn to people being genuine. And that is another key factor in building an engaged community with people. So that's the second one. The third thing that you need is you need to have a place for them to go. Where do we meet? Where's the spot that we hook up at, right? So for me, that's my Discord community. My Discord community for Trendsetters Only is for people who are content creators, influencers, coaches, people who are meant to set a standard in the world. We come together in Discord so that we can have a space where we rally together and support one another, right? So that's my space. That is what I do. But you can have a Facebook group. You can have a text group. You can have Zoom calls that you do every so often. You can even have just like a private YouTube video that you put up that your people know, oh, we're going to come to this and join this because this is where we come together and hang out with each other. And so what you'll start to see is that when you create that space for people, it allows them to meet people that are like them because they're all drawn to you, your personality, who you are, and it's going to bring people who have similar interests, who have similar goals in life, and it makes it so that we have something to look forward to. So if that is like a live that you do and people know, oh, she's gonna go live at 10 o'clock, I know to be there so that I'm a part of the community and I can chat with my friends in the chat section. Like this is how you build a community of people. And so you have a lot of options. There's so many options for where you would house your community and where you keep them, but you have to have a space. So you can have a following, you can have a huge following, you can grow and have just tons of people who follow you and admire you. But when it comes to having a community that's really engaged and that is really that feels like almost like it builds on itself, that is where you will want to have a space outside of just a social media platform or something that is consistent so that people know this is where we go to meet at whatever time and consistency you set for it. And the one thing I forgot to mention is that this can even be an in-person thing. We can make this social media connections a real life thing. So you can have gatherings, you can have meetups, you can have sessions where you go out and do an activity together, even if you met online. So you still have the opportunity to build your community however it feels most authentic to you, whatever feels the most like you and whatever you can maintain. But the community aspect, you have to have a space for your people to gather. So that is the three. I'm trying to remember. I gotta make sure I can say them all because I kind of did that off the cuff, y'all. So the last thing that I said is you have to have a space for them to gather. You have to be consistent. So you have to make sure that you are showing up at a time where people can expect you because that's going to build the trust. And then you have to be authentic. You have to be you. You got to be real because you don't want people drawn to a fake version of you, a facade of you, a masked version of you, or what you feel like people are going to gravitate towards. You want to have them be somewhere where you can be yourself, you can be you, and then they can feel free to be themselves as well. So that's how you do it. That's how you build an engaged community. That's how you measure your engagement. And if you need help figuring out how to make your content more engaging, even after this video, make sure you get into the Trendsetters community. Join the Discord, get in a space where people are doing this with you. So you're not doing content creation on your own, by yourself. And you feel like you have people who get where you're going, because one thing that I'm realizing now more than ever is that we're talking about building community, but we need community. And that's why you hear people talking about it so much, because we need space. We need contact with one another. We need to feel like we have people that are going with us. We feel like there's people that we can talk to, who we can be ourselves with, who we can be honest with. Because when it comes to content creation, y'all, and this is kind of a tangent, but I feel like it's important to talk about this. Sometimes it can get really lonely. It can get really lonely, especially when you're the only person that's doing this, maybe the only person that you know in your area right now that's doing this, or you are the only person in your family that's doing it. Or when you're online, it feels like you're putting on you're putting on, you're entertaining people, right? You're putting on a personality so that people feel like they're getting what they came for when they come to you, but those people don't know you personally. They don't know you for real. And that can be very lonely, and that can cause us to go to places that are just really scary and dangerous. And so when it comes to creators, when you create content online for whatever reason, especially when your business is mostly based online, I just want to caution you to not continue on taking this journey by yourself. Find your space, find your community. Like Cardi said, she's found her community. Okay, period. Because we're here and we're doing big things in the Trendsetter community. But I want you to know that this is, you're no longer going to be able to sustain it by yourself. We need each other. We need community. We need places where we can be vulnerable and we can be authentic and we can be real. And then lastly, so that we can support one another. Because that's another thing that when it comes to engagement, it can be discouraging when it feels like no one's paying attention to what I'm doing, or it feels like I'm having such a hard time gaining traction. Your community can help you. If it's a good community, they're going to help you. They're going to help put your content out there. They're going to talk about you to their friends and to the people that they know. And that is going to expand your network. And that's what's going to help your business and your brand to grow. So keep that in mind. If you don't have a space already, if you don't have a place to call home, we would love to have you over there in the Discord. You can join it by going to the description box and clicking on the Discord invite. I would love to have you there. And till the next video, I'll talk to y'all later. And I never say this, but I want to make sure that I let y'all know that if you are enjoying this, make sure that you like the video and that you subscribe, because I never tell people to do that. It's good content, y'all. It's good. It's worth it. If you've watched at least 2 of these videos, please subscribe, because it only is going to get better from here. So I do this because I love y'all so much. Thank you, Cardi. I love you too. I just want to see y'all win. I want to see you win. I want to see you be the person that you dreamed about being. And I don't want you to have any more excuses for not being able to achieve it, because we're going to get it done. Okay? We're finishing things this year. Period. All right. So until next time, I will talk to y'all later. Have a great night and enjoy your weekend. Do something fun. Do something for you. I'm talking to myself when I say this. I'm going to find something fun to do for myself. And yeah, just enjoy it, because you deserve it. Talk to you all in the next video.